son don't like to call.
Good evening. I would like to call to order the Harrisburg Town Council Planning and Zoning Board meeting for August 19th, 2025. We have all our members here now and sworn in. So that, all persons wishing to address to the board would need to be here in person. I do not see anybody here today. So we can go to item B, addenda adoption. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
Motion to adopt?
Do I have a
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, I've got that out of the way. Special presentations are none. None today. Public comment. Do we have anyone online wishing to speak at this time? Nobody here? Okay, we're on that. Consent agenda. Did everybody get a chance to look at the consent agenda? See any mistakes or questions from last month? Do we have a motion to adopt the consent agenda as presented?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, that carries. Old business, we have none on the agenda. New business, we have none on the agenda. But we do have some staff updates. And for the first one, we have the Harrisburg Strategic Comprehensive Plan update presented by Mr. Zach.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see a full board up there. Y'all are looking very good tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about the comp plan. I'm not going to be long because I did have a conversation with Councilman Thevenin and he urged me to be brief. So
Thank you.
I will obey my elected officials. Okay, so let's talk about the plan just for a few minutes. So what is the plan? What's the process we're going to go through? What's the timeline? And what is your role, most importantly? So what's a strategic comprehensive plan? So comprehensive plan essentially is a policy statement to guide growth, development, and conservation. So it's not only about growth and development, but it's also conserving those parts of the community that should be conserved, whether they're natural or historic. That's an important part of the plan. The comp plan really serves as the foundation for all the other regulatory documents, primarily the UDO. So once the comp plan is done and it lays out a vision for development, residential, non-residential, and whatever it is, that will be rolled into the UDO, which we're also doing some work on. So they work in tandem. And when the two of them are synced together, it is a better situation than when they're sort of separated. And we have a plan that's 7 years old. 2018 is the HALP, Harrisburg Area Land Use Plan. It's time to update it, and then we're going to add a few things to it. So looking at the plan phases, the first phase is really what we're in now, which is background information, documents, analysis, assessment, all the records, all the data is being crunched, and our consultants have been in town, and we had our first steering committee meeting, so really we're just wrapping up the public engagement plan, which is how we're going to attack and I'll talk about that in just a minute, how are we going to go out and make sure we get the input of the community. And then we'll move into the goal formation. So the first part really is going to be not only gathering data, but also gathering input. So it's sort of an inside-outside operation. And once we gather all that together, we will have the ingredients to start preparing the plan. So begin with vision and goals, and those will come out again of the public input. There's also a survey that will be going out, electronic as well as you can fill it out hand, old-fashioned. be mailed, and so we're gonna have that rolled out. I think towards the end of October, and that will also give us another touch point for input. And then we move into the implementation strategy, which is really ultimately what we want, which is to take the vision and make it become reality. And part of that is incorporating the policies into regulations in the UDO. But the other part of it is there's actual capital projects we can do. There's things that the town can do. And what I found in my career is that when the town takes the initiative, it can really make a difference. And every community around here that you look at and say, well, that's nice. Well, it's nice because somebody came up with a plan and then they worked the plan. And so there will be a concerted effort to really come up with an implementation strategy that gets us where we want to go. And so it's going from input to vision to goals to strategies, and obviously we're gonna get that wrapped up, and then get into the adoption phase for the entire plan. So everything is set. We're getting just rolling, but things are going well. So here's the timeline. You can kind of look at that a little bit, but essentially the plan is to wrap up by next July. So the fall really will be into August, September, October, public input, and then we'll begin to develop a framework for the plan, goals, objectives, vision, and then start to take each of the sections of the plan. And I think I mentioned before, they're really, we're looking at three key elements in this plan. Foundation, one is housing, the other is economic development, and the third is mobility, which is another word for transportation. But it is those three things that will be the foundation for everything we do. But we're going to have chapters and sections that deal with economic development, park and recreation, conservation, of course housing, and land use. So we're going to cover the whole range of development and conservation. And so it will be truly a comprehensive plan. It will cover just about everything and anything that you all will ever review or be involved in, and then you will have this comprehensive plan to refer to. It will be your guide. One thing I will say is that because of the upcoming 250th anniversary of the United States, we're actually going to push the adoption out to probably September, October, and maybe even get into November. But the point is, we want to wrap it up by summertime, but there's going to just be so much effort going into that July 4th, and then of course, you hit the summer and people are kind of checked out. So, but we'll start to, use it, but the formal adoption will probably need to wait a little bit, and but we're going to keep moving along. We're not going to stop on that. So, what's the role of Planning and Zoning Board? Talked about this a little bit. You are the ones who deal mostly with development in terms of citizens in the community. Other than the town council, you're the ones that hear it first. So we need insight, perspective, opinions. Opinions are not bad things. We need opinions about the future of Harrisburg. So all of that is going to be important for you all. And although we're going to have touch points where we'll be reviewing things, at any point, if you come up with a great idea at 2 in the morning, you can't sleep, you can email Carly. She'll be glad to look at that. But it will be an ongoing process. So seriously, anytime you want to talk about something, or you want to input, then please do. Feel free to contact us. Participate in public engagement. So there's really been an effort, or there is an effort, to make sure the public is involved. And this is about as involved a comp plan as I've ever been a part of. So we're going to have what we're calling pop-up events. So we're going to pop up at the Rock and the Berg. We're going to pop up at the Trick or Treat, right? And get some candy, steal candy from the kids. And we're also going out and going to be inviting HOAs to come in. We're going to have some regional meetings. So, different areas, most HOAs meet once a year. So we're going to, maybe do the northeast quadrant and then do the southwest. We're going to put something together, but we'll give everybody an opportunity. We want to go out instead of having everybody come in. Of course, the survey is going to be a really good way to make sure that we're validating what we're hearing. One of the things that I think you'll find as we go through the process is you begin to hear the same thing over and over again, because people in a community move here because of a certain, whatever it is that they want to see in their community. So it does, you start to see those things showing up over and over again. Ambassadors for the plan. So we will deputize you as ambassadors to promote the plan and the vision of the plan, and that it will be the operative reference point for the next probably 7 to 10 years, and it's going to set the framework for a long time. Review of the draft plan framework, and I know Bill can't wait to get his hand on that, because he is going to stay up and read that through word by word. No, we need that. We need everybody looking at it. Everybody has a different perspective, and there are some people that are really focused on housing, others on economic development. So the more people involved, the better the process will be. And then ultimately, you all will provide the final recommendation to the town council. So, and that's by statute. The town board, town council cannot adopt a long-range plan, a comprehensive plan, without your recommendation. So you are the gatekeepers until you open the gate, and then it can, move ahead. So it's an important role, and we are excited about getting going on it. Any questions? We're gonna do a little development map update, but generally, any questions? I will tell you that the next big event is going to be we're gonna get out into I think Rock and the Berg's the first one to get out and start, getting some input. Working on the survey now, and that will be, going out also in October.
Yeah.
But October's gonna be a busy.
Just because-
Yeah, Patrice.
Yes, will we have an opportunity to preview the survey before it goes out to the community?
Great question. You will have an opportunity to see it before it goes out. How about that?
Are we able to weigh in on it before, or like?
Meddling now, right?
Politically correct.
So, let me talk a little bit about the survey.
Okay.
So, the survey is being managed by the same firm that did the Park and Rec plan. And they are doing what is, and some of you may be familiar with what a statistically valid survey is. There's a protocol, has to be random. There's correction for different, if you have skewed one way or the other. And so there's some science to it. And our consultants who have worked on a number of these plans are going to put together some questions. We're going to see them first, meaning the staff is going to see them first. And then they're going to go to the survey people and make sure that they're not leading questions. You know, you can ask a leading question, and so their idea is to make sure that everything is just a straight question. So answer is the process, the making of the sausage is not going to involve the planning and zoning board directly, but you get a sneak peek before it goes out.
Okay.
But we, I've done these surveys before, and you know, it really is important, and I expect that we're going to get a great response. When I was in Huntersville, we sent out, I'm trying to remember how many we sent out. We got 1,200 back in the mail, and it was probably a 25% response rate, which is like off the charts. If you get, they're telling us that if we get 375, then we will have hit our mark in terms of statistical, conformance with a statistically valid survey. So that's really how it's going to go. They're going to tabulate it, and then we will have that raw material, and ultimately, I mean, it'll be part of the plan. We're going to, you know, there's going to be a feedback, and so you all will have the results of that, and that will inform the framework of the plan. The plan is not written in a back room. It's not written based on what we think, but it's really based on the input that we get from the community, which includes the town council. But we mix all that together, and there's a consensus, and that's what will be ultimately the plan. Yeah,
So kind of
Jessica.
piggybacking off on Tree's, does town council have any input or say into what is being asked in the survey?
Great question. So we have a steering committee,
Okay.
and the steering committee is going to be involved in the process. So they're probably going to be the ones that be able to see it. But again, the process is we are trying to make sure that we cover all the bases. And so, you know, to what extent, I'm not sure.
Okay, and then, so they're being mailed out to every resident in the town of Harrisburg?
Yeah, so it's going to be twofold. It'll be electronic, so we'll have some that you can do online. Others we're going to mail. And what the survey company is going to do is, as we start getting those results in, and their role is to make sure that the survey results are reflective of the community. So that means we don't want to hear from one group or one demographic or one age. We got to make sure that we're covering it. And really that's based on the census. And so, you know, we have a certain age, breakdown by 5-year cohorts. We have a certain ethnic breakdown. We have a certain male, female, youth. And so we want to make sure that we're getting a good cross-section. Speaking of youth, we're going to do a presentation to the Youth Council. So they're going to have an opportunity to do the survey also. We want to hear from them. Anybody can take the survey, and it's going to be probably 20 questions. It won't take very long.
In the past, there has been a lack of participation, and decisions have been made with that lack of participation. So, as I've said in previous meetings, my biggest concern is to try to get as many residents involved as possible and get their input. So, just want to make sure that happens.
This is going to be, as I said, this is a very, very thorough public engagement process. There'll be 2 public meetings, probably at the Y. So there's one September 28th, that'll be the first one. And then in the spring, February, there'll be a second, and in between there'll be a lot. And so we'll have a website, we'll post information, we'll post framework, we'll post other documents that are part of the plan preparation. So people have plenty of chance to weigh in on the plan. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to do that. Have faith, you know.
Yeah, in the past, some of our surveys have been one per household, but you're talking about like having youth fill out, some surveys and so on. So is this going to be one per household? And because if my
Yeah, that's a
teenager
good
fills it out.
question. Yeah, honestly, the most important thing is to make sure we get the cross-section that reflects the community. So if you have several people in one home, that just goes into the mix. You might have one neighborhood, more participation, but as long as in the end, we get the cross-section of what the community is. We don't want all one, we don't want, as long as we get that, and I think we're gonna have a huge, we're probably gonna have over 1,200, just make a guess there, because, it's gonna be online, it'll be very easy to fill out, and the survey will be available, hard copy, library, other places that people, are going to, and so I don't think that we're gonna sail by 375. I think that'll be.
Well, I mean, okay, I hope so.
Really
Is it
easy.
gonna be on the website? Because not everyone's on Facebook.
Yes, yeah. No, that's where it'll be. That's where it'll be. It'll be on the website. Again, and this was my experience both in Huntersville and Kannapolis, and just remembering Huntersville, you get 1,200 survey responses covering all of the different areas of the comp plan. You have a really good idea where the community is at. If you're covering all the demographics, you're covering all the sections, you have a really good idea. And in the end, when the plan is finished, you look back and you look at the survey results, and they'll line up pretty closely. They're not going to be, completely different. And again, that's why I like, having a lot of participation, because the more you get more validation. That's democracy. The more people you have involved, the more okay, this really was a decision. This wasn't 20 people. This was 5,000 people. So that's a good thing.
I have an idea. Just to get it out there, because not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody goes to the website, but you could put a little blurb on the water bill, everybody's gonna get that.
Yeah,
We talked about
so
that
we,
before. That's a good idea.
And it's already going out, so you're not spending more money on getting the word out, you're just putting a blurb on the water bill.
Or even
Yeah,
put
so
the link.
yeah, so we have a communication strategy put in place. That's part of it.
Oh, okay.
It's going to include that. It's going to include, obviously, we're going to touch all the social media, website. We'll do other, and we got a great communications director. She's awesome. She will get the word out. So yeah, and that's one of them, about the water bill, and so the coverage should be, pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What percentage are you looking to capture? Like, what's your ideal percentage of the population to take the survey? It sounds like 5% at this point of time, what you're saying, given.
Numbers, again, they've told us 375 representative cross-section would be enough
That's
for a
crazy.
statistically valid survey. Now, before you shake your head on that, Jessica, presidential elections, what do you see? 500 people were surveyed, and this is it. So you don't need a whole lot of people if you have a good cross-section.
Right. It's just 100.
And this is where their value comes in. They are able to look at the different cohorts, and they know and if we have one over here that's more overrepresented, then they're going to have to adjust that. They're going to have to correct that. And how they do that is why we're paying them a lot of money. So in the end, we will get, and I think the Park and Rec plan was a really good illustration of that. That plan had a lot of input, and the part of that plan that was most I think, helpful and useful was essentially ranking in order of priority the recreation and park needs for the community. So 1 to 20. So we knew number 1 was greenways. That was, clearly. And then, it went down the line. Of course, pickleball was up there too. We're working on a pickleball court right now. So, it's gonna, we're gonna hear a lot. I think at the end of the process, everybody will feel pretty good about it. Again, I think we're gonna get easily over 1,000. I don't think it's gonna be.
Well, let's hope so. So a couple things I wanted to add. One of the longest talking points of the first steering committee was the effectiveness of surveys. So it's already driven home to the representatives that we want effective surveying. So there any means possible was discussed. I also want to encourage all of us. I mean, we all have resources. We're part of this board. I mean, the uniqueness of this ability to shape the footprint of this town going forward should be communicated to everyone we know, and they need to get involved. And, that's our charge too, in our own part. We need to get out there and make it known. It's only effective. All great communities become great because the citizens get involved. So we have to encourage that involvement all we can.
And at the open house, just as, another example, and some of you may have been involved in these kind of planning projects, but, we'll have a bunch of boards up covering the different topics. We'll have information. People will be able to go up and, put little pins on things and write things on the board. And we'll be able to, take that, just like we did with the steering committee. We got a lot of good information. I was telling one of our consultants, I said, I'm gonna just guess that what you see on this board will pretty much be what we're gonna see throughout the process. The things that we heard, steering committee, we're gonna hear over and over and over again. But that's important to having a bunch of different ways to get people to weigh in, whether it's a survey, whether it's in person, whether they come to a meeting, whatever it might be. So we're just at the beginning, but the ball is rolling. So that's a good thing.
Thank you for that. Any other last questions?
No, just a comment. Pickleball is going to probably be one of your big things. I've been hearing that a lot.
Yes, pickleball is taking over. It's the kudzu of court sports, right? It's taking over the tennis courts.
It's a noise ordinance issue now.
Growing and growing and growing. Yeah, pickleball is definitely a popular thing. So you have a treat tonight. The treat is that Carly is going to be helping me to show you the development map. Some of you may have seen it. We have made it, we've designed it, and we just want to go through it and kind of give you an overview of how it works and what goes into it and how we're going to keep things up. So the goal really of this development map was to make sure it was interactive so you could use it very easily, user-friendly, transparent. We have all the information on there. We're not hiding anything. We have the plans, we have the approved plans, we have the construction plans, and anything related to development. So it will be updated on a regular basis. So weekly, that means, and when we have a new project, it will go on that development map, and it will roll out, and it will be updated in real time. So the foundation of the plan is what we've done is categorized all development into one of these 6 categories. Now, there may be a project that goes through one or more of these. There may be a project that just goes through one and then is completed. Administrative, that would be something that is allowed by the ordinance and that you all don't see and the council doesn't see. Staff processes it at the staff level, based on the ordinance. And so that's an administrative type of development. Planning Board, Board of Adjustment, obviously those are going to be things that you would review. So rezonings and other similar plans and whether it's a development project or even some sort of a special plan. Town Council, ultimately they're going to make the decision on a development plan. The approved plan, so if it is blue, it will be, that plan's been approved. If it's green, it means it's under construction. And if it's completed, I'm not sure what that color is. It's supposed to be gray, black. I'm not sure what it's something. All right, so we got a couple still shots, and then we're going to do a live little demo. But here you can see red. So the red are administrative. They're at the administrative level, and so that means that we're reviewing it. And I think I've told you this before. Before you ever see a plan, it's gone through probably 6 months of pre-review. And the reason behind that is that when we bring something to you, we want to make sure it's well vetted, meets the code, meets the ordinance, and can be is in an approvable state. Put it that way. So you see red, you see green, and we'll take you to the live website in just a minute. But green, you see blue, which again, those are approved, and I think there's probably some off the screen that are completed. So when you pull it up, you're going to see that map, and you're going to see these project tiles on the side. You can click on one of these tiles and pull up whether it's a plan or an image. So, for example, this is a rendering of one of the retail shops down at Farmington. Hasn't been built yet, but you can see what it will look like. And you can see what the layout will be for Eileen Meadows, which is right here. And you can see what Cookout will look like before Cookout is cooking, right? You can see what the new car wash will look like before it is washing cars. And so you'll be able to follow the project and go through the whole, the whole process and really get a good idea of what's going on. So Eileen Meadows, I mentioned, it's green, which means it's under construction. So if you click on Eileen Meadows, what you're going to see is this screen on the left. What you're seeing now is a approved conditional rezoning plan. So that's the plan that was approved by the town council. You could click on the approved preliminary plat or the approved construction plans. And construction plans, for those who really want to get into the nitty-gritty, we'll show you everything from sewer manhole inverts and drainage and grading, et cetera, the trees and sidewalks and all that. So you can really get down into the nitty-gritty. They'll be different. So this is a residential project. If we have a commercial project, that will have some different information. We're going to show you in just a minute what we have for that. But let's pull it up. This is the website, which is live now. So if you go to the website, you'll see there's a development map. You hover over that, you click on that, and that will bring up the development map. And so this is what you'll see, and then this is the full map. Again, you see Carly's hovering over that. You can zoom in and find your neighborhood, find out what's going on next door or in the future. And you can also click over on the left. And so here, Camellia Gardens, residential subdivision off of Stallings Road. And you can see there's quite a few plans right down to the construction plans. And so you can see that, and then there'll be a little blurb, 157 single-family units on 40 acres. Community is 96% built out. And you'll see that for every development. You can click on a specific plan, pull that up, you can download it, and again, be able to look at it and see really what is going on. And you can follow this really from the administrative stage all the way through, so you don't have to come to a meeting. You could pull it up and say, oh, they're pre-reviewing this, and oh, now it's at the planning board, and they're looking at the rezoning plan, and now it's at the town council. Town council's approved it, and goes to the staff, and now we're gonna approve construction documents, so we get into that, and you can see that. And there are some that will have renderings for, there's some, you wanna go to, you can get
Yeah,
the cook.
just pointing this out, it does open another window, so you will always wanna close that out, it'll keep piling them up if you don't. And if you wanna get out of the circle when you're in, you have to always shoot that X down at the bottom. And you would have to zoom
Let's go over to cookout.
Do they plan on getting the tiles in alphabetical order?
in.
Can it be
I'm sure
done?
it was trying, I don't know.
Yeah,
You kinda gotta hunt and peck on them tiles.
Yeah.
No
And, you know, so that, I will say that this is gonna be a constant
Yeah.
evolution, so
It's
we'll
still in
keep
beta.
improving it. So cookout, and you see it's that color, whatever that color is. And there's the description, the approved construction plans. Let's go to the approved architectural plans. So this is what was built, this is what was approved, and what's on the ground. So just stop right there. So that's that opening on the left, that's where you drive under the window, that's that. And you can see all the colors, so right down to the brick, and the material used, the landscaping, it's all gonna be in these plans. For a commercial project, we're usually gonna have a or we're gonna have an elevation view. But honestly, on a lot of our residential, we're also getting elevations because conditional zoning are, you know, it is customized. And so we want to make sure that what is being built is what was approved. Let's pull up Panda, because everybody's gonna be really excited about Panda.
So you can get it with the tile, or you can go to it on the map, either way, it'll take you.
So you see that's in the red. That's in the red. Zoom out just a little bit. You can see the Veterans Park just to the north, and that's Publix and Harris Square right there. We have been reviewing this for quite some time. It's gone through a lot of iterations, but we're comfortable with it now. You can see the rendering. We were trying to make sure that it was not a sore thumb in this. And so if some of you have seen their new model, it has a nice little swoop roof, kind of a pagoda, which is great, but it doesn't really fit in this context. So we've been working on that. And again, why don't you pull up the architectural just for, so, you know, we've gone through this, and we feel this will be, will fit in nicely with the rest of the shopping center. And that's how we're gonna look at all the projects. And so anyway, this is a good example of that. You wanna go back to the main one? Do we have any administrative, light industrial, or, I don't think we have is foils, but that's really not. Yeah, we have several projects that are in the formative stages. Already mentioned the hospital, which is going to be a large project. There's also a expansion of Pruitt across the street here, which is working its way forward. That'll be 59 beds. It'll be on the south side, so it's going to kind of mirror what's on on the north side. There was one other medical, no, that was the two medical ones, yeah. So we are going through the process right now. Again, there's a lot of front-end work before we, why don't you hit the Harrisburg Village, Tom? That's a good,
I'll take your action.
so, that'll show you, again.
That's the main question we get, how many's being built, what's being built, that's a lot of the, how much is filled out, we do update this.
Now, another table that we sync up with this is the development, it's sort of a snapshot. So it's a spreadsheet essentially of all the development, it's residential, how many lots were approved, how many have been built, how many are left. And so you can get a really quick, you can get a really quick idea of what's coming. As we look at that and we say, well, there's still 800 homes that have been entitled, which means approved for development, that they could come in and pull permits. Now, the sewer availability is the constraint at this point that we're trying to be very careful with, because we want to make sure that we have enough until we get another. So here's the.
Blackwell.
Yeah, I don't know if you can zoom in on that at all, but so this essentially will show you, and I believe the dark ones are built out. Are those the ones that are still in?
No, we took the bill off.
Okay, you took the build out. So Camellia Gardens up top, you can see it was approved 2020, 157 homes, 151 have been permitted, 6 left to permit. Again, almost fully complete. And we, you can go through this with every project. So, and if you looked at the bottom line, remaining to permit, we have 1,000 homes. So that's a lot of homes. We've been averaging over the last 5 years, probably between 250 and 300 homes every year. We had a little spike a few years ago, but that is between 700 and 1,000 people every year coming into town. That's a lot of people. And that's was really one of the driving, I mentioned one of the 3 drivers for the plan is growth, numerical growth, and how that's going to affect everything, because you got to scale up, but you also have to plan for that increase.
Can I ask, I was gonna wait till the end of the meeting before we join, but this might be a good place to segue into it. Can we get some numbers, like perceive this coming month, people are, I don't know what the process is, what do you call it? In Concord, we call it a CO. I mean, not C, we call it COC, Certificate of Compliance.
Right, same thing, yeah.
So can you get this board, those numbers? Looks like these places are gonna get COs this coming month, something like that. I would like to get a little stats, get a little more feel of what's about to be approved in town.
Yeah, the way we do it is, when we get to the construction document phase, once that's approved and we've had our pre-construction meeting, they are ready to roll. Now, how they pull the permits is up to them. But I think with Acela, that will be readily available. So we're working on Acela, trying to get the back end of that done. So you'll be able to pull up.
I'd have to create an account at Acela and go up there and search it and pull it out my own, pull it out ourselves.
Yeah, that were issued.
Yeah.
But I think there's a way to.
It'd be nice to get a monthly update, it's, because we don't see the by right stuff. We don't know what's going on. All we know is what comes before the board for, conditional approval. But there's a lot of stuff going on, and we just don't know. It's over our heads, and I feel, we ought to be a little more in the loop about
Yeah, I
what's
got asked a
coming.
lot of questions. I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That didn't come
Well,
by me.
let's discuss it, see what we can do to, get a
nice.
little more information.
So, question on that spreadsheet you had up earlier, I noticed, because I've cross-referenced this several times already. There are several on this list that aren't on the other list. what makes them happen to pop over on the other list?
So.
Like, for example, Blackwater Road is not on there. I want to know what's going on with Blackwater Road, and I couldn't even find it.
Yeah, Blackwelder Road was a plan that came through, was approved by the board, and then it stalled.
It fizzled out, it's going away.
It stalled, and so it really, at this point, is not moving ahead.
Okay.
But somebody could come in, pick that up,
Yeah, so it's
and run with
approved.
it.
That's what I was wondering, because it's blue.
So-
Well, it's a different blue.
Blue.
This means nothing on this list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't go back over this.
So, you know,
But it's been rezoned and it's been approved.
it's been rezoned and approved.
So
Those are
someone
homes
else.
that are
However-
already out there to
If the
get
right
a
developer
permit.
comes in, they can
Yes.
pick it back up.
Yeah.
Without coming.
Without
they
coming
can-
to us,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's
Haven't
already
bought one.
done.
Yeah,
The owner still have the land. Still-
they just haven't sold it.
haven't
That's
sold it.
because I kept trying to look to see, and nothing's
You're
been
right, so
sold.
just in time.
So we
Rich
could
just
buy it if we
mentioned
wanted
that
to buy it.
We have a meeting next
Nothing
week
can happen, right?
on Blackwelder.
We do?
I'd like to know what that land is.
That's one of the 5,000 meetings I have next week. So, yeah, another one is.
Orchard Ridge.
Orchard Ridge.
Yeah.
It was approved for what was it?
459.
459, that was
It's
a-
a big one.
Hot miss.
That is not moving ahead. Matter of fact, we've got someone who's interested in taking a piece of it, and developing that.
Was
So-
another piece sold too?
Hmm?
Hasn't another part of that been sold?
Yeah.
So,
So you know, the market changes, and things happen.
So this
projects
just
are-
shows what zoning has approved. It doesn't show anything else above that. That's what on this list right
But
here.
it's a by right development now. I mean, they can come in.
Well, by
It's out
right
there.
means that they didn't come in before any board. It just means that,
Well, I mean,
They're
I'm
in the
just saying
right
it's
zone.
approved now, so they don't have to come back before this
Right.
board, somebody to
yeah,
pick it
well,
up and
right,
develop
it's
it.
approved, but when we refer to by right, we mean you don't come
Yeah.
before a board or a council,
No, I understand.
for anything, because you can just go and build it. You can build, you know, a development. We don't see too many of those. Most of it is rezoning, which is why, you know, you see, you know, all the new stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's really annexation, rezoning, coming into the town, gotta go through the process.
So any
But-
reason why wouldn't you include that in this map over here? Because it's already approved by you guys. Probably it's stalled, but
There's
is,
no movement
There's-
basically
yeah.
right now.
okay, but that should not be part of the map, or can it be part of the map in the future?
If it moves to the administrative, the red is when we are putting it on this.
That's
map.
when you're starting an
This is to
administrative
track.
review.
I think this is to track development, right?
This-
Yeah.
People call in every day, hey, what's being built here?
Yeah.
And then you
We-
can point them to
you know,
this.
and that,
Okay.
and really they can go to the map and see.
That makes
hey,
sense.
this is what-
It's to track the progress, I think particular.
The other one is basically just how many permits are pulled for single-family homes or county.
Yeah.
that have been
To
approved
keep up.
and how
Then
many
they're
are left.
approved That are, they're ready to go permit, they're
Yeah.
full permits.
I
So
have
the
questions.
information that you guys know, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, I
So
interrupted.
the
My fault.
information that you have here, that you are aware of, is there a status field that could indicate this, like Orchard Farms? So that's approved, but it's not gonna move forward, so is there a simple column that's gonna show that, so public is aware of it? Then I'm hoping that the 459 are gonna come up.
Yeah, and there's a limit to the information we can put on there, and I don't mean that from we're gonna conceal the information, but some of these get complicated. And so we don't want, you know, until there's a piece actually that's gonna come in for redevelopment, and there is a piece that does wanna come in, and you'll see it. But it is at the administrative stage. They have not done TIA yet, they've not submitted their application, we're doing all the front-end work. As soon as they submit that application, then it will, you know, it'll show up, and then the process will begin, and that's how it's tracked. But, you know, this'll give you a really good idea of what's going on in town. You zoom out, you can tell where the development is, where the
Yeah.
growth is.
Already it is. It's
And,
really good.
you know, with what, and we've got some light industrial projects that are gonna be, that we're talking to right now. Matter of fact, we've got two, probably the total between the two of them, probably 500,000 square feet. So that's a good sign. That's really one of the goals of the council, is to start to balance, the residential with some non-residential tax base. As that goes through the process, and I think in the past, we've been giving you updates, so when that becomes a real project, at this point, we're still in the formative stage. When it becomes a real project, that'll be on our update to you monthly. And some of the things that'll be on here, you may hear something before it goes on there, but we're trying to keep this as current as possible. But there's always going to be some.
Whatever
Awesome.
happened with that, data processing that we approved to
Yeah,
change?
the data.
Is that
Is that the same one that
coming
went
to
to Mooresville?
fruition?
It
They didn't come here.
No comment?
in process, in process. That's a good example, one in process. So there's a lot of
I'd hate for us to have,
pieces,
change that and then
pieces and
someone
parts.
else comes in and it's not a data center.
That's
So-
the danger of it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a good example of a by right development that you would not otherwise see unless
Right.
there was a code, in the case that, to change the code for the height. You wouldn't have seen that if the height was fine.
Right.
But we would have told you about it.
Thanks.
Well, that's what.
Here's what's coming to your neighborhood, a data center. That'll be about 250,000 square feet. So it will be, hopefully, getting approved not too distant future, and they'll start construction.
Backup generators.
But that right there is going to be a pretty sizable increase in our tax base, right there, from one project.
Diversified tax base, which is great.
One number, just for those of you who like numbers, you all like numbers on this side, numbers people, we did a check on the residential tax base compared to the non-residential tax base. It was 80-20, residential to non-residential.
Yeah, it's good,
So
yeah.
the residential tax base, I believe, was approximately 3.6 billion. Non-residential was about 750 million. So you see there's a pretty big imbalance. So we want to add to the 750 and not.
Is there a number where that's like a good percentage they're supposed to both be at, that people, towns strive for?
Well, so,
That's a
good question. I'll just give you my experience in Huntersville, which probably has one of the best cross-section of all uses in the area. Huntersville is about 70-30, which is really, really good. Davidson's about 85-15. Cornelius is not much better. So they are very, very heavily weighted towards residential. But in those communities, of course, you have some high-priced residential housing. So, there's an offset there. But, ideally, 60-40 would be great. 70-30 is good, but we gotta up that number. There's no question. But with some of the stuff that we're looking at, it can move up pretty quickly. So that's going to be an emphasis. That's part of the comp plan.
Yeah.
Where's economic development going to take place? Where's it going to go? What's it going to look like? What is the industrial park going to look like? What are the buildings going to look like? Who are we attracting?
Mm-hmm.
And, who do we want? So all those are.
Any questions on the map?
When will things drop off? Like Cookout's done, so it's gold. How do you plan on doing that?
I think she was planning for 60 days.
Okay.
Shelley.
Yeah, and
Just
then
to
it
kind
would-
of announce it's done and then,
Yeah, so it would peel off the list, but this will give you a pretty pretty good idea what's going on, and,
It's a good
you know,
tool.
it's a work in progress.
It's
We're gonna,
great.
we're gonna look to refine it, you know, like the A through Z would be, you know, one,
Yeah, or even like residential, industrial,
Yeah.
I think would be,
yeah, and,
I wonder
and.
if that's possible to have those
Yeah,
two
we,
categories.
and there's
Categories.
other communities that do residential, non-res, commercial, mixed use. It starts to get a little bit confusing.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Residential, non-residential.
Commercial would be
Yeah,
good, too.
yeah, I think as we get more non-residential, we'll probably have to feature it more, right? At this point, we don't have, you know, a whole lot, but it will be,
Looks like there is.
it is coming. The residential developers are still interested in, I will tell you, in Harrisburg, and as long as interest rates don't go through the roof, then, you know, what's our permit count through June? I think it's like 100 and some odd.
Almost 180, I think.
Yeah, so we're probably tracking for about 250 for the year, maybe a little bit more depending on, you know, how things go. But again, 250, multiply that by 3.5, if you could do the math in your head, what is that, 875 people?
But that's permits, right?
Hmm?
Are you tracking occupancies?
Well, so here's the
You're
here's
not
the
tracking,
thing.
Okay.
There was a time, Jessica, you know this, where the builders would build spec, and then 2008 hit. After 2008, builders don't build spec. If they're putting up a building, it's because they have a contract. So, your point,
Sure.
when I was in Huntersville, we used to actually track these COs because they would issue all these permits and they would just sit on them. And it wasn't until the CO, you know, they came in that we knew that there was a person in there. But with us, it's pretty much, you know, one-to-one. They'll build a few maybe spec, but, you know, not enough to make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the non-residential, like she mentioned cookout, the complete date, does that start once construction is complete or once it opens?
So the way it works is this for commercial. When they're complete, building's complete, site is complete, we go out and inspect it. So Tom Lesser, our code enforcement officer, will go out and compare the plans to what's on the ground. Engineering will go out and they'll look at they'll look at all the, you know, the things that they look at. If there's anything that needs to be corrected, then it will be corrected. Once it's corrected, we issue a certificate of completeness, not to be confused with a certificate of occupancy. COO, COC is very confusing. When they get that COC, they then can open. Now, in the case of Cookout, I think we gave it to them Thursday and they were open Friday.
They were open.
I didn't even know.
They,
They
they,
normally tell us.
they were, you know, so once they get that, they're good to go. And most developments, and Cookout was like this, they're submitting to the county building standards people at the same time they're submitting to us. So they're going through the whole building process, plan review, architectural review, mechanical, all that. And so they're, you know, working together, and then they get to the end, and it's, but, yeah.
If everything goes right in the cellar, they can't get their occupancy from the county until the town signs off.
Yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to work. Every once in a while, one falls through the cracks. When
Yeah.
things go right.
Yeah, we get to push the button to say, you know, stop. And you know, it could be a project could be in the middle, and there could be some kind of problem, and usually we'll go out, engineering will go out, public works problem, resolve it. If we can't resolve it, stop work order until it's resolved. And so we put a stop work order on. That usually accelerates the fixing of the problem. And we had one of those recently, project not to be named. But you know, it is regular, and there's no real lag. And so we're at a point where we're going to be moving from residential towards a fairly good section of non-residential. The hospital is 180,000 square feet, 100 beds. That's a big hospital.
Where's that gonna be?
right next to the emergency room.
Okay.
We need it.
Um,
No, we
so-
totally do.
Yeah,
We totally
it'd be
need that,
nice.
that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, no
Because you're
question
transferring
about it.
people all the time to other
Yeah.
places, so.
And so, you know, they got and we knew it was coming for, 3 or 4 years, but they've got to get approval from the state, called a certificate of need, and you're familiar with Robbie, that says that there is sufficient demand, because what the state doesn't want is a glut of hospitals, that's not good for the community, it's not good for the state, and it causes a lot of problems. So same thing with Pruitt. Pruitt had to get a certificate of need for those beds, make sure there was a need for it. And so it takes a while sometimes for that, but this is moving ahead. So big picture on the hospital, they have submitted, and this is a great example of administrative, do we have them on here? Yeah, okay. So they're still in the pre stages. So we're going through the plans and we're making suggestions. Right now, we're looking at the parking lot, because it's a big parking lot. And people are crossing over from the emergency room to the hospital, and then from the the medical over onto the hospital. And we gotta, so those are the kind of things we iron out ahead of time. And then we'll get to the fun part, which is what is the Harrisburg Atrium Hospital going to look like. So that's part of what our code allows us to do. We have design control, and that's going to be a big building. We've got industrial buildings too that are going to be on the way, and so there's going to be a lot coming out of the ground in the next 2 years. But in terms of timing for the hospital, they were looking to get their approvals. Now that will be a rezoning. That will need to be rezoned. So that'll be a conditional rezoning. You will see it. They're looking to come in. They were looking at this fall, but I think this is probably going to push out to the spring. But they really wanted to be they wanted to be up and running in 28, and that's probably going to be 29, because it's probably a 24 to 30 month project. At least what they told us at this point is they're going to build the superstructure. They're going to build for 100 beds, but initially probably have 50. But from a cost standpoint, efficiency standpoint, they don't want to come back and say, oh, let's add a third floor. Let's add another, it doesn't make sense. So they're going to build the whole, and so there'll be some open space. But that'll be, probably, hopefully in 26, start, breaking ground on that. And, but that'll be probably a 2-year, at least, project.
All right.
So, you got anything else on
That
that?
it?
You good on that? Yep, so we're good on that. September, at this point.
16th.
Hmm?
September 16th.
Mm-hmm. We have anything on the,
Not yet.
we might.
We might.
We might.
Yeah, we definitely might.
We might. So part of the administrative thing, then they're ready to roll, which means it's coming out of our shop into your domain. And as soon as it's ready to roll, it will come before you. But we have several of those. Hospitals in that category. And there are others. But if it's approved and the zoning is good, like the data center, that's going to move ahead, and you will hear about it from us. We give an update, but you won't see it.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, good. And unless anybody's got any other questions, so I got a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hallelujah.